Yo, sup? Two new Dragunity support cards. Oh yeah. The artworks are dope. Oh yeah. They expand the dual terminal storyline. Oh yeah. My predictions about how Dragunities are gonna get a counter trap and maybe another spell trap as well. Oh yeah. The effects are pretty garbage. Oh, son of a bitch. Alright, Dragunity draft. The artwork is very adorable. Dragon's Ravine in the background freezing over. It's expected since this should take place after the Ice Barrier released their 3 dragons and destroyed the world, froze the world over. We got Remus here just chilling, pun may or may not be intended, and Ducks in the foreground with a very meme-worthy thinking emoji face, thinking like, I've got to formulate a plot, or end up in jail or shot. Absolutely love it, they killed it. But yeah, Dragunity draft, the one and only Dragunity continuous spell. The one and only Dragunity continuous spell. You can only activate one of these per turn. It has 2 different effects. The first is when it's activated, you can target 1 level 4 lower Dragunity from your graveyard, add it to your hand. The second is if a Dragunity monster that's level 5 or higher attacks, it's unaffected by all of your opponent's effects. So yeah, pretty garbage card, not much to talk about here. The card is just simply too slow to use. It's strictly a recovery card since the first effect has to be able to add an extender for it to be fast enough to be considered. The only level 4 lower Dragunity monster that's an extender is Legatus, and Legatus has a hard once per turn, so if it's in the graveyard, you most likely already used it that turn. The second effect is also too slow. If something's going to happen to your Dragunity monsters, it's likely going to happen to your level 4 or lower ones, first of all, because you need them to go into the higher level ones. Secondly, if something's going to happen to them, it's going to happen either on summon or when they use the effect, definitely not when it's attacking. The game has moved far beyond Mirror Force. And even if you're trying to counter Mirror Force with this card, it's doing a very bad job at it, since it only protects the monster that's currently attacking, so all your other monsters die anyways. So yeah, completely useless. Even if we remove both the restrictions on the first and second effect, making the first effect being able to add Mistletoe, it's still just the worst version of Dragunity Glow. Like, they couldn't just give us a tanky, they have to make us add from our graveyard for some reason. But anyways, let's get to the slightly more interesting card, which is Dragunity Void. So this completes the trio artwork-wise. So we had Icy Dragon Prison, which is when Ascalon fought Trishula. Armogram fought Gungar on Dragunity Glow, and here in Dragunity Void, Erebra is fighting Brownick. You can see Trishula and Gungar in the background as well, so I'm not sure what happened to the other 2 fights. Maybe Erebra just has to carry the team or something. But yeah, just breathing fire and melting them, I guess. Saving the world, pretty cool. But anyways, this is the Dragunity counter trap. It's possibly the worst viable card that they could have given us. Now I say it's viable because it's searchable off Romulus and is not completely garbage like Dragunity Draft. So anyways, you can only activate 1 of these per turn. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a Dragunity Synchro monster, negate that activation, and if you do, banish that card. And if you have a level 10 Dragunity monster, 1 Dragunity monster gains 100 attack for each card currently banished face up. And that's a permanent addition, although you're probably not gaining much because it only counts face ups, not like face down Pot of Desire banished cards. So you probably just, seriously, like, card designer asks Konami, how many restrictions do you want on this card? And Konami just straight up said yes, right? Like, what's up with all these restrictions? You can have none of these restrictions and the card would still be average at best. This is a 2010 era archetype specific counter trap. Similar, it's on par with things like the Gladiator Beast counter traps or the Six Samurai counter trap, or maybe like the Madolche counter trap at best. Nah, it's definitely worse than the Madolche counter trap. Like 2014 onwards, the standard for archetype specific counter traps has been Infernity Barrier level. If we power creep a bit more to about 2019, the standard has increased even higher, such that counter traps has to be activatable from the hand to be relevant. And we get like this 2010 level shit. But its one saving grace is that it's searchable of Romulus. So like if you open a full hand of combo pieces, it gives you the opportunity to search this with Romulus. Or well, if you have enough combo pieces in your hand to do the full combo, Romulus is free to search this. Now, I've always been an advocate of having both front row and back row disruptions on your inboard so that your opponent can't just straight up side in nothing but front row removals against you. Although the restriction of only being able to use this while you control a Dragunity Synchro monster defeats the purpose of that, right? If they just, you're gonna have just an Erebra on the field as your lone Dragunity Synchro monster to make this live. If they kaiju the Erebra, they get rid of the negate of Erebra and they make this dead, so it's, you know, pretty bad there. Negating spell traps. Now, I do like how it negates spell traps. I've always said that Dragunities have a problem against double evenly or evenly impermanence, because whether it be from the era of Agapane into Hot Red Abyss, or now where we summon Borrowload Savage Dragon, both fields only have one trap negate, so it is a cool addition in that sense. But yeah, I can see this card being ran as a one-off when you're going first and sided out when you're going second, but yeah, that's about it. The main thing I'm happy about is the additions to the dual terminal storyline. Dragunities has always had the worst dual terminal story ever. They had no prelude or aftermath, right? When the Mist Valley were under attack, Dragunity showed up to protect them, and we kind of just assumed that both the Mist Valley and Dragunities just died right there because their story did not continue. So it's good to know that with these cards, they didn't die right there. And not only that, they also saved the world from the blunders of the Ice Barrier. Seems like Konami is definitely going for quantity over quality with this structure deck. I don't expect any more new support after this. We've already got far more new cards than a structure deck should be giving, even though they're not that good. For Dragunity to be at least tier 2 viable, we're gonna need at least a ban list like the January 2014 ban list. Because these cards, although they're very good in terms of Dragunity standards, right? These are like 2014 era cards for when compared to 2012 era cards, that is Dragunity. It's still nowhere near what you'd expect from a 2020 deck. I'm still gonna pick up 3 structure decks, of course.